Okay, this is geometry, a section on the law of cosines, a how-to video. This section comes right after law of sines, so hopefully yesterday you did the law of sines. This section right here, law of cosines, is for some specific triangles, and the big kicker on this stuff is the triangles aren't right triangles. I do have a calculator ready to go that can help me. You need a calculator ready to go that can help you. One that you use every day, one that you get used to pressing the buttons on and where everything is at. So have your stuff ready to go before you start this video, and we're gonna get rocking. All right, so the law of cosines is a law that works for non-right triangles. Non-right means there's no right angle anywhere in the triangle. And when you're given side angle sides or side side side. So it's really important to identify what they give you in the problem, SAS or SSS. This one is a nice formula, but it is long and it is kind of big. You will not have to remember that. You will not have to have it memorized. In fact, every time I've done the ACT, SAT, if they need you to use the law of cosines on a problem, they're going to give you the law of sines or cosines to be able to use it. They will say, hey, given that the law of sines is this or the law of cosines is this, use that in this problem. So you don't have to even memorize it on those standardized tests. I will give you this formula. It simply goes this. A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared. Almost looks like the Pythagorean theorem. Minus 2BC times the cosine of A. Please notice that little a's go across from big A's and little b's go across from little b's and little c's go across from little c's. That's the formula that we use, the law of cosines, to solve side, 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 or side angle side problems. Let's see how it works. So this problem wants me to find x, and there's really two types. One is a find the angle, the other one is a find the side. We'll do the easier one, it's find the side. The formula goes like this. It goes a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of the angle A. But there's no A, B's, and C's up here. Well, when you get these problems, I want you to consider this side to be A. So I'm going to mark that big A. That way, this will be like x squared. So whatever side your x is on, we'll call that angle A. And now, the B and the C at this point really don't even matter. You go BC or CB. I'm just going to go BC. And we're ready to go find the x. Okay, here we go. That would be the little a because it's across from the big A. So I'm going to go x squared is equal to, well, b, little b, so 32 squared. And big C, so little c, 18 squared, minus 2. The b and the c are these two values because b is across from there and little c is across from there. So these two are my b and my c. That becomes 18 and 32. And the last part that makes it law of cosines is the 56. So I put cosine of 56 into that spot. And that's really the setup. I mean, it's kind of the hard part. It's big. But you really got to know this. Big B is little b. Big C is little c. Big A is little a. So this 32, everywhere I saw the little b here, and I probably even have those two switched, but that's my little b there. And then my little c here, everywhere I saw that little c, I have an 18 there, and I had a little c in this part, I have an 18. I put those numbers into that formula. And then this cosine of A is cosine of the angle. Now, every single one of those is a number. Those numbers I can find on this thing. A huge part of this is, can you plug it in? Can you get it on the screen? So I'm going to show you on this. I'm going to string this whole thing in as one because I have the ability to do it on this calculator. If you can't do this, you might have to break it up into pieces and then hit equals. So here we go. I'm gonna type it in, and then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. 32 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 18 times 32 times the cosine of 56, and I closed it off. Okay? There it is, strung all together in one. 32 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 18 times 32 times the cosine of 56. Now I hit enter, and I got 703.809. Now I'm not gonna list out all those decimal places, but I'm gonna leave them on my calculator. Well, if that's 18 and that's 32, there's no way that side is 703.809. See a little squared? I gotta get rid of it. So I'm going to square root, and this calculator, I can cursor up and I can hit enter, and it'll actually bring all those decimal places down. And a really good approximation is that number right there. My x value is equal to 26 point, I usually go to 2 decimal places, so 5.3 is my x value. And I was able to use law of cosines to find the x. That's the whole thing, okay? Hard part is plugging in numbers, and can you get it on your calculator? Let's try this one. This was side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. This one is side, side, side. When given side, 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 you have to use the law of cosines, okay? That's my x. I'm actually going to call it A. I'm going to call this B, and I'm going to call this C. I usually call wherever my x is. This case it was little a because it was a side. This case it's big A because it's an angle. And I'm going to set it up, okay? This little a value is that one right there. I'm going to make that's my little a value. That's right there. That's my little a. My little b here, my little b is the 42, and across from the c is my little c value. Well, the little b is 27, and across from the c is 42. All right, here we go. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of the angle A. All right, here we go. I'm going to go with a squared, which is 20 squared, equals b squared, which is 27 squared. That's the b. I put it in that spot and I square it. That's the a. I put it in that spot and I square it. C squared is 42 squared minus 2 times the b value, which is 27. The c value is 42 times the cosine of the a value, which is O. Oh, it's different. There's an x in that spot. I'll put an x there. Okay? Now, this is awesome for you guys because this is getting you guys ready for Algebra 2. See, in Algebra 2, we have to take bigger, longer equations and we have to solve for an x. I gotta solve it all the way out for that x. So, I'm not gonna hit any buttons on my calculator. I'm gonna do this idea out. Now, I got all these things attached here. I need to start moving them over to the other side. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these two pieces over there. So I'm going to subtract the 27 squared over, and I'm going to subtract the 42 squared over. Those wipe out. And on this side, I get 20 squared minus 27 squared minus 42 squared. I haven't hit a thing on my calculator yet. I don't even care what those values are. Equals negative 2 times 27 times 42 times the cosine of the angle x. Now I know there's a negative there, but all of these things are being multiplied together. And the way to undo multiplication is division. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide by negative 2, 27, and 42. Negative 2, 27, and 42. These all wipe out. I'm left with cosine of x equals. Well, look at all of that. If you have a big calculator, that should get strung into the calculator like that. If you have a small calculator, you're going to have to break it up. If you have a small calculator, probably do all of the top, write the answer down, do all of the bottom, write the answer down, and then divide the two. It really depends on what your software is. I got the big calculator. I'm going to show you how to string it all together. So I'm going to use my fraction bar, So there's my fraction bar, and I'm going to go 20 squared minus 27 squared minus 42 squared. And then on the bottom, I'm going to go -2 times 27 times 42. So on this calculator, you can actually string it together. And you don't have to write all those little pieces down individually. I've done all those. That's one big number. And out of that, I got a fractional bar. But I'm going to go ahead and figure out what the decimal is for that fraction. See, it gave me a fraction, and then I wanted the actual decimal value, so I got 0.9228. 0.9228. That's what cosine x equals. I've done the math. There's no way that angle is 0.9228. Oh, I got to remove the cosine with the inverse of cosine. So I'm going to attach cosine to the -1 right there. I'm going to attach cosine to the -1 right there. And my x value in that spot will equal whatever cosine to the -1 of that decimal is. So here we go. Cosine to the -1 of that decimal. That was the button sequence. It looks like that. And I carried the decimal down, and it gave me 22.66, which is believable for that angle. 22.66 degrees is believable for that angle. By the way, after you do that, you find this angle, you could actually go in and maybe use the law of sines, which we did yesterday, to find B. You could do sine of B over 27 equals sine of 22.66 over 20. You could cross multiply, and you could solve it out. You could do that. That is an option to do that. But that right there is the law of cosines. They have some problems now that I want you to do, and this is really all that I want you to do. I'm going to tell you what to solve for first to help you out. And then I think you can go try these 3 problems. If you can get these 3 problems, great. If you can't, ask for help. Ask for a partner. Have somebody else help you. So this is a side angle side problem. And what I would really do here is I would find z first. So I would write a squared plus a squared. Oops. Let's try that again. We'll back it off. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of angle A. And really what I would do is I would call that angle A because it's across from the side here. And what I could do is my A value is there, that's my z value. I can go z squared equals, I'm going to call this b and this c. So 18 and 16 are my b and c, so 18 squared plus 16 squared. Minus 2, 18 and 16 are my b and my c, times the cosine of the angle, which is 21 degrees. And that'll get you, after you square root it, that'll get you to z. After you find z, you can do the law of sines. The sine of 21 over z equals the sine of 18 over y. You'll have an actual number for z, and you can do that. You can find y. Then you can subtract from 180 to find x, and you can get it. The next one's setup. Well, it's side angle side again. It's the same problem. I'm going to call this angle A. There I have an x there. You're going to set it up exactly the same as the one I just did. You need to try that one. And last but not least, we have an angle or a side problem. This is the harder one that you're going to have to solve it backwards. I'm going to set it up for you. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of the angle A. Let's call this one the A. And I'm going to call this one the B, and I'm going to call this one the C. I want to solve for that x first. So the 15 is the side that goes in for the A. B squared and c squared are these two. So it becomes 9 squared plus 10 squared minus 2. These two right here, they're the b and the c. So these two right here go in those 2 spots. These two right here go in the b and the c spot. So it becomes a 9 and a 10 in that spot times the cosine of the angle A, Angle A in this case is my x. And when x is in that spot, you have all that math to do. Minus 9 squared, minus 10 squared. Divide by -2 and the 9 and the 10. You'll get some decimal. You'll cosine to the -1 it, just like I started class with. So those are some harder problems. Some of you might get stuck. It's okay. This is a multi-day assignment. But, man, if you can do these, this is some upper-level algebra stuff. That's just, like, cool. I mean, if you can handle this, you can handle whatever you could do in Algebra 2, and then you're prepared. So that's really our job here in geometry, is give you formulas, see if you can plug some numbers in, but then also get to the algebra that really gets you the answer. So this was only a 16-minute video, which means you got like 30 minutes to try to get the right answers for these 3 problems. Man, help each other out. Do this. Like go get some answers. See if you can come with this done tomorrow. If you can come done with this tomorrow, this done tomorrow, we're in great shape and we're ahead. So good luck on that. Give these 3 problems a try. There is an assignment over law of sines and cosines. I will help you with that, but do your best. Let's go.